What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video. That's right, I'm on the other side as well too. So real quick, a lot of people have been asking me what my wife looks like. So we did a little reveal. So I want to show you guys real quick what she looks like on the live stream. She decided to make an appearance, and she's so damn shy. It's so cute. She brought me some dessert. So there's my beautiful wife bringing me some dessert, showing it off as well to keep me fed while I'm doing these live streams. So I just want to show you guys real quick. There's my real life wife, who's an absolute gorgeous hottie. So thank you to her. So guys, that's it for this one. I just want to show you guys that because a lot of people were asking where the hell it was. Let me put myself back on the other screen. We are going to now go ahead and do the actual update to the weapon tier list, which is going to look a little different now, especially with the update to a specific weapon, and that is Vulcan's Rage. And we're going to also review SKADI and toss it up where it deserves to go and talk about a lot more of these updates too. So real quick, I'll see you guys in that one. All right, everybody, welcome back to the weapon tier list update. So we are going to be going through every single weapon. We have had a lot of buffs, we've had a lot of debuffs, but as usual, we're going to talk about rares real quick and put them in place. Now, I don't put rares in the useless section because quite honestly, rares are going to be pretty powerful early on in the game, especially because you can dupe them fairly quickly to A10 and get a lot of precision out of them and help you guys get additional stats. So rares are not to be scoffed at. They are actually very, very useful, but I'm not going to put them on a tier list. They're just going to belong in their own little category. I will say this, you will start salvaging them as soon as you start getting A1s and some SRs. Some SRs at A0, matter of fact, you're going to replace them because SRs are that much better for the most part. But if you're looking for stat sticks, these are not bad options to go with. So rares are nothing to scoff at, but again, we're not going to rate them in the tier list because they really don't belong anywhere in the middle to end game section where most of you guys are going to be at right now. If you're a brand new player, don't be shy to invest in them a little bit in terms of duping them, but don't level them past 20 in my opinion. Just not worth it at that point. You're not going to get the best bang for your buck for that. All right, so let's go ahead and do our usual bit here in regards to putting weapons where they belong. We'll start off with the SR Hunters, we'll move over to SR Jins, and then we'll do the SSR Hunter weapons, and then we'll move over to SSR Jinwoo weapons. We'll put the newest weapon right here so everybody knows where it's at, and that is going to be SKADI, and we'll talk about that one last. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin our usual tier list. Now I'm going to go through the SR Hunter stuff real quick, just like we did before, and then I'll kind of break it down for you guys with the SSR changes, just because those are going to make a little bit of a difference. And as well, there's a couple SR Jinwoo weapons that are going to be changed as well. So give me a second. All right, guys, let's start off with the worst ones that we can possibly get. Okay, so we're going to start off with the SR Shield. Yes, this will reduce the amount of damage you take for bosses. For the most part, kind of useless to be honest with you, because you're going to be dodging and avoiding damage anyways, right? So that we're going to leave where it sits, and that's going to stay there. We're going to put the axe in B. It's still actually pretty decent. Does increase, I believe, core damage if I recall. The staff is actually pretty good because it increases your power gauge when you come in with a QTE. There are better options, of course, so we'll talk about those better options right now. Now this sword over here is going to be very good. It is giving you additional elemental weakness damage, so when you bring a unit that does X amount of more damage against weakness elements, this will add more damage to that, giving you a better result for overall DPS. So highly recommend this one as an SR weapon for those who want to use it. And then we have the basic attack dagger, which is also very good for those units like Lim and SM Beck who use their basic attacks quite often in order to build their core attack, obviously, right? So the core attack one, actually, you know what? We're going to put this up one now that Alicia's out, because this actually will help Alicia a lot more with her core damage. So this is actually going to go to very good now. So I apologize. Let's swap that up one slot. So see, this is the reason why we do this, just to review it in our heads. And then the two other weapons here that I really like that are OP are going to be the crit damage bow and then the power gauge book. Those two are probably the best substitutes for most of the SR Hunter weapons in the game. So if you want to know, guys, where you stand in regards to using SR weapons, if you don't have the SSR equivalent weapons for the Hunter, go check out my video. I actually have that out for you guys that talks about every SR weapon that can be replaced for Hunter's SSR weapons. Okay, so one other thing I want to point out in this video, I did make an adjustment here. I added a godly section because now we're getting so many adjustments and buffs to these weapons that now there needs to be a secondary category to differentiate from the broken to the absolutely insanely broken. Okay, so godly is going to be the top tier ones. So I just want to make sure everybody understood that, and we're still going to talk about this. Okay, so let's start off with Jinwoo's SR weapons. Now the Orc broadsword unfortunately still becomes kind of bad. So we're gonna put this here. It's still not a great weapon. Still requires you to kill opponents, etc., to make it worthwhile. The Golem Hammer's actually gotten a little bit better now. We probably put this in the good section. The Dragon's Longsword also still the same. Hasn't moved up. They really haven't buffed it any more than it already has been. So that's going to stay where it's at right there. Now we're gonna go talk about the Dark Gun. Still very good. Great way to activate QTEs. Unfortunately, it competes with almost every other powerful dark weapon in the game. There's just way too many SSR ones out there. Kind of undermines the ability that this one has and the coolness factor that it brings to the battles. You sadly lose all that because of that whole point, right? Baruka's Dagger, again, always discussing this one. Incredibly powerful wind weapon. Unfortunately, really shines at A5, so you're going to need to get quite a bit of it. If you do get A5 version, it jumps up to OP, but I want to consider this for free-to-play players and pay-to-win players alike. So we're going to balance it out and give it an A. It doesn't go up any higher than it was last time, so that will remain in its current spot, okay? Let's go with the, what do we got next? I'll leave the best ones for last. The Grimoire. The Fire Grimoire, I still think it's OP. Still an amazing weapon. Long cast times, incredible burst damage. So the only two fire weapons on the list that are SRs that are better are going to be Night Killer because of the buffs that they gave it and the Orb of Avarice. So speaking of Night Killer, this one will sit right here in the SOP section. Amazing dagger, great debuffs, fast animations, and overall cool design. So that one gets up there. Speaking of daggers, Kasaka blades are also going to be right beside it, equivalent in terms of its water element. I find the Kasaka blades to be a bit better, to be honest, so technically this will go here, but between the two of them, very good combination of things to use. The Naga Trident, also very good water weapon. I find the Kasaka to be a little bit better. I started playing around with it a bit more, and it actually is a better weapon overall. Then we have ourselves the Frost weapon here, which is a great addition to the freeze tactics. So if you don't have a Grimoire or SKADIs, this is a pretty decent overall addition to the list. So you can continue using this one if you have been already. You're not missing out at all on that. And then here we're going to talk about some of the other items here. So the Lustrous Sword will still continue being here. At the OP section. Amazing weapon given to you for free if you do some of your chapter challenges, and great way to actually defeat Icarus as a brand new player. So it does fall off later on in the game as you start advancing, but it still does play a pretty decent part in early to mid game content. And then we're going to talk about some of the broken ones now, okay? So let's go with Orb of Avarice. Yes, it is broken still incredibly powerful, still super strong, and still one of the best weapons in the game. And then we're going to talk about the last three here. This is still a broken weapon. A lot of people have a problem with this one. I still think it's incredible. It's such a fast casting animation, and for like Battle of Time and stuff, if you're running a fast Jinwoo and you need to finish things quickly with light weapons, look no further. This weapon is a very fast animation, especially at A5. It does insane damage to boot, right? So there you guys have that list. Now, let's go back to our friendly neighborhood Westwind, which is still always the topic of discussion almost in every video. It is still broken. It is still godly. And it's still probably one of the, if not the best weapon in the game. Sorry, guys. I don't know how else to put it with you. You guys don't believe me? Go watch TY Pal. Watch any of those other content creators who use this at an expert level. They're destroying stuff with this weapon. So still one of the most broken weapons in the game. I've been saying this for a long time. Since they nerfed it already, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another nerf coming down the pipe for this. I think it's going to happen, to be honest. I'm not giving them any ideas. It's just common sense. They can see data, and everywhere you look, it's there. All right? Now, the SR bow, listen, I was going to say broken or godly. I will put it the highest end broken here, okay? That's where that's going to go. It's not Westwind quality because I really have to put the top of the top of the top up there. It's still incredibly powerful. It's the closest thing of an SR weapon that sits in godly, okay? Just so you guys are aware. All right, now that we've done that and we got that out of the way, let's talk about the SSR hunter weapons and where they belong. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the first one that I put lower in the tier because we were not a mature global server at the time. Now that we are a mature global server and there's a lot of players catching up now to some early access players, broken. Godly, absolute godly. So if you max this to A5, she becomes a crit damage monster, right? And I put this one tier below earlier, and I made the explanation in the original tier list that we weren't ready, or new players were not ready to have a proper crit build but now they are. And when you do, insane in the membrane, broken AF, okay? Next up, Cha, yeah, absolutely broken, for sure, like godly, absolutely godly. SM Beck, very good. It is broken. It's not godly though. It is still really good. Yeah, godly. Yeah, Alicia's is insane, 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 insane. So very, very powerful. So these three, I would say, definitely deserve where they go. Dongsu is also broken. Choi's is also broken, especially when you get it up higher up to the A5 tier. If you get it to A5 tier, it starts to sit up here because of the amount of attack he gets and also the extra burn damage that comes out of it. Lim's is broken. Emma's is, I don't think it's God tier, but it definitely is broken. Jinwoo is actually super powerful. So we're going to put that here. Min's super strong. And the reason why is you get damage bonus. Damage bonus, like a flat damage bonus, just whenever he does heavenly blessing. So if you get this to A0 to A5, it doesn't matter. It still becomes super powerful, right? Bex is going to be broken. And then, believe it or not, Boralee's is pretty messed up broken. Yeah, it's pretty insanely broken. Now that, especially now that they fixed it. Actually, you know what? I'll put this here. I don't think it belongs all the way up here with these four. We'll put it right here. It's like right in this little section here. I'd say it goes kind of like this, if I were to rate it, okay? So there you go. SSR weapons are broken. Now, the reason why I put them all where they go here now, and it makes more sense, and this is why I keep telling people, instead of crafting dupes of these SSR weapons, craft a new one for every character you're missing that you need. Also, guys, for the love of God, stop salvaging your weapons that are SSR. Look how often they buff them, right? So don't do that to the weapons. Vulcan's Rage is going to be a prime example, and I put out a video already for the testing that I did, or it's coming out soon. I don't know which way I decided to do this. My scheduling is all over the place, but you'll see why, and Vulcan's Rage is insane now. So let's talk about the brand new SSR weapons, or we'll talk about SKADIs at the end, actually. Let's talk about these ones. So the buffed weapon, I'll put right over here. Let's go through all the OP stuff. So Demon Longsword, I'll be honest with you guys. It's still broken. Still broken. Still not godly though. I still don't consider it to be godly. Westwind is still stronger. It's still really, really powerful though, especially at A3 when you don't have to do the counter anymore. Now that they fixed the animation and it's even faster animation for counter, it's now like it's like right up there almost. I almost want to put it up here, but it's like it'll be like the lowest tier of that section. Okay, Huntsman, definitely broken. It's the only one with the break. Like, let's be real. It's crazy. It's crazy strong, right? So definitely broken. Here, we'll do it like this. Okay. We'll put these guys at the end so you guys don't have to worry about it. All right, Grimoire. Yeah, so Grimoire is still broken. It's lost a little bit of value now due to SKADIs, but not much. Not much. It's still up there. So I'm going to put it still right here. Plum Sword, yeah, still busted. Still busted. The best support weapon in the game, still in my opinion. Crit damage, crit rate, amplifies everything. It's just insanely powerful with every combination out there. Remember, these are universal weapons here, these two. So you're not going to get better than that. Scythe, still broken. Flat crit rate at 25% at A1, you get it for free. At A5, you get a flat 15% more attack, which is insane. So overall, crazy animation, super DPS. So still very powerful weapon. Yeah, Moondagger Sword, same thing. Even though it is a little more niche with dark weapons, it does do overall damage increase, plus slows down time, making it a lot better. You guys can see here the trend of dark weapons is very strong. Very strong, right? So there you guys go. That's out of there. Vulcan's Rage. Oh, man. Okay. I'm going to be real with you guys. The increase in buffing on this weapon is pretty bonkers. Pretty bonkers. So you do need to get at least an A1 to an A3 to see the massive difference, but now it has become a very powerful weapon and does deserve this up here. Again, you guys can check out my video on how strong it is. Again, A1 to A3, really the big differences, okay? But that extra 15% to damage at 20 stacks versus 5% to 30 stacks is a huge one. And now that we have attack speed gems, this is going to hit way harder than it ever did. So highly recommend it. And then lastly, SKADIs, the newest gun to add to the collection of Jinwoo swords or weapons. I would put it right over here, right about here. I'd say right here. Okay? Extremely strong. If I should have put my review out already, you guys should see why it's up there. But overall, guys, you guys can see why I kind of had to separate some of this. The only one that I still am not confident about, because the wind weapon over here kind of beats it out as an SR weapon, is the Westwind. I still think they need to buff the Demon Longsword a little bit. I could be wrong. My testing has come through. I just did the Wind Dragon today. I did almost 215 million damage on, 250 million on both rounds, accumulatively, but majority of that damage came from Westwind. And I know this because I see the numbers, right? So that's kind of the problem. The reason why I have to put Demon Longsword into broken rather than OP, And yes, you guys can see here, a lot of Jinwoo's weapons are starting to become pretty damn broken. Like, we're talking about godly. Like, majority of the weapons here work really, really well, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of his weapons now here. As a matter of fact, like, this here is last place still. I would probably put it right here, actually. It's still debating between that. So there are obviously the better 4. Like, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'd say are the key ones and are the core ones. And then, of course, Westwind being Westwind where it belongs. In the I honestly would even put this here at this point. I still think it's the best weapon in the game, and we'll continue to believe so. But there you guys have it. That's essentially it right there. You guys can see the SR Hunters, or sorry, the SSR Hunters. Now remember, SR Hunter weapons are going to be added very soon, so this tier list is going to advance and get even bigger very, very shortly. So keep that in the back of your mind while we're doing this. All right, guys, this is Payne. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.